Hello, Guardians. Today is February 10th, 2023. My name's Dan Finity, and welcome to Destiny Digest. Thank you so much for joining us this week. This week marks a special occasion. Destiny Digest has been around for 6 months. It's kind of a crazy thing to think. It's super crazy for me to think on because time has literally flown since we started the show. With it being kind of that occasion with Lightfall right around the corner, I thought it would be fun to do a mirror episode of the very first panel that we did for the show on the first episode. So I invited Bonna and Tiddly and Rev and Mal and Seth. Seth was there. She just wasn't able to talk. And we talked about everything that we know is coming out in Lightfall. Now, it doesn't cover everything, but it covers a good bit of all of the different articles that we've been getting from Bungie week over week, Wednesday over Wednesday. I've included links to all of the articles that we were talking about in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. And also be sure to follow all of the wonderful human beings that you're about to hear. Now, without any further ado, a conversation about everything we know coming to Lightfall. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming and being here today. We have a lot to cover, so why don't we go ahead and go around the cube and introduce people to who you are and where they can find you on the internet before we dive in, starting with you, Mal.
Hi, my name is Mal Nightingale. I am a content creator, obviously, but I do Twitch streaming, all that jazz. I've dabbled in other games now other than Destiny 2, but primarily Destiny 2.
All right, Bonna?
I'm Bonner, Boner, Bonafide Hero, that Aussie goofball, whichever, take your pick. Stream on Twitch all throughout the week. Find me doing a bunch of different stuff and all over the socials. So yeah.
Tiddly?
Hi, I'm Tiddly. I've been streaming since 2016. I'm a morning person, very obnoxiously happy morning person. And I like Destiny a lot. So thanks for having me on again.
Yeah. Rev?
Hi. I'm not as cool as these other cunts.
Quack, quack, quack.
You can't really find me on the internet. That's kind of pog for me. I live here.
You live in Discord.
Yeah, you live in Discords.
Yeah.
All around the Destiny community.
He doesn't he
Yeah.
he doesn't live in a real house outside of Discord.
This is like Rev's version of sending out, putting a message in a bottle and throwing it in the ocean.
Rev has no house. He kneels before no banner. So
he kneels before no cord.
Yeah. So this is it struck me. We all sound like we're recovering addicts. Hi, I'm Dan. I've been streaming for nearly 7 years, and I'm addicted to Destiny 2.
Yeah. Hi, Dan.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I feel seen. So
I brought the donuts.
I feel seen.
So let's get cracking. The last time we all gathered here to speak was back in August. Now we're gathered here in 2023, a brand new year. How is everybody feeling coming into the last month before Lightfall?
I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm bored.
I'm just gonna say I'm bored. I'm looking forward to Lightfall, but I'm bored, bro. There's not really a lot else to do for myself. I'm spending time helping people, but then I'm actually spending way more time out of Destiny now, and that's good. But yeah, man's bored.
Well, how many hours did you log this season?
This season, I don't know, but I could tell you for the week, I think.
Oh God.
I can tell you. Hold on. For me, I can tell you right now. Let's see here. Let me pull up Steam real quick. Take a look here.
Well,
Destiny,
you've been on the Final Fantasy 14 kick too.
I haven't logged into Destiny since January 23rd. If that says how bored I am. But yeah, the Final Fantasy 14 bug has
hit
bitten me.
Set in. Yeah.
I am less than 20 hours away from hitting 1K hours already. I'm 14 and I started in May.
Incredible.
I have an addiction. Help.
That's why we're here, aren't we?
Yeah.
All the cat girls and the bunny girls are hot and I can't keep away from them. I just want to lick them all.
Bono, what about you?
I think the way I've been explaining it recently is with this, I don't know, I'm quite enjoying the said drip feeding that we would refer it of information coming out. So we've got multiple points throughout the week that we see. We've got either hot fixes coming out on Tuesdays, Thursdays. We've had some other things pop up on Wednesdays when things have been issues. But we're getting we're calling it the tours.
Yeah.
This week at Bungie on Wednesday, the tour. And the tribes have been sort of filled with information. There's stuff changing. So I think the way I've been explaining it is I'm actually becoming very overwhelmingly excited, and I catch myself a lot of the time starting to hyperventilate with the amount of when I think about where I'm going to be in 3 weeks time.
Yeah.
Like
right?
Christmas Day.
In 3 weeks from now, like today, right?
Yeah.
I'll probably just be finishing up my 32-hour session of day 1 of Lightfall, and I know from last year what that entails with the sort of legendary campaign, jumping into seasonal content once you've done all 3 characters, bloody getting that light level up. I just remember how special that was last year, and knowing I have that, that's where I'm going to be in 3 weeks with all this that is coming and all that's changing and being added, and yeah, I'm going to feel myself going again.
Yeah.
It's just,
You're giving yourself goosebumps.
yeah. So I don't feel myself bored at the
Yeah.
moment. Like other people, I get it, but I get lost in my thought about what's gonna be what's waiting for us and where I'm gonna be at this point in however many weeks time. So
Yeah. Tiddly, what about you?
I'm a perfect Destiny player because I have a really high tolerance for boredom. So I've been told that before, but I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You don't need to
Having a good
apologize for
time.
it.
I mean, I feel like if anything, I feel like I'm not playing enough because I feel like I should be bounty hoarding and
Oh,
like artifice armor collecting, and I've been helping Kepper with his gilding. And I mean, I recently did my first 3-man, which was really exciting. And I kind of find the end of season stuff fun.
Yeah.
I like the preparation and I like the grind, and I like, oh my God, we got this deadline. We got to finish this. We got to finish gilding or finish collecting or finish whatever. So I actually kind of like this part of the season. It's also a fun time to stream because a lot of people are bored and moved on, so it's like crickets in the directory, and so I get to chill and hang with people, and I love that. So it's like, yes, come to me. I'm like, I will take all you Destiny lovers in my channel, and I will take care of you. Come to me. But I'm still having fun, but I think that's that I'm also succumbing to kind of like what Bono was talking about. The Bungie hype machine is cranking up, and I think we're all starting to feel that and the trailers and the information that's coming out about what's going to happen. And so I'm starting to get hyped too. I don't get so excited until it actually is here. I think I'm most excited about the new legendary campaign because that was so epically successful in Witch Queen. And oh my God, I hope it's epic and challenging and amazing and fun. I already have my team. I'm excited to go in and try that on day 1 with friends. But of course, every season that we get a new raid, that is literally the pinnacle and the most exciting thing that's coming out, because that's what I love to do in the game, and that's what everyone's preparing for, and that's it's like a holiday. So that's that, I know we're not there yet, but that's kind of where my mind is going. So yeah,
I'm kind of finding myself in between the two spaces. It's like I've done a lot this season. I don't have all of my seasonal triumphs and stuff done, but I am maybe 8 away and almost.
Do you have a checklist? Have you written stuff out that is your end of season checklist?
Not really. I'm using my I am bounty farming, and so that's kind of my checklist of and I'm done on this character. I'm not really prepping weapons because I don't have a lot of weapons left after like deleting Vault. So
Did you delete your whole vault?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And how much money did we raise? What was that worth?
Well, in total, that was $10,000
Nice.
to
Worth
do
it.
So
Worth it.
yeah, worth it. It's
You
pixels
got
on a
some
screen.
grinding to do.
Yeah, I
That's
got
true.
I
That's
got
true.
stuff back, so it was fine. The crafting system, I think, is very forgiving for.
Oh, if the game is good at anything, it's giving you loot like quickly.
Exactly.
So,
and
yeah.
especially with the purples that are dropping right now.
Yeah, so many purple
so
engrams
many
in the
purple
vault.
engrams in
Goodbye,
the
blues.
vault.
Hello, purple engrams.
You almost sound like you're complaining.
Can we start with the band-aid fixes, Bungie, please?
I've already lost full mats on one character in the
Oh,
last
dude.
week
All right,
just because of those purple.
Twice in the last day.
Yeah.
Twice in the last day.
one
I
day?
went 4 weeks
no.
with not losing anything,
Oh.
and then twice in the last bucket.
Mm.
I did that on my
I'm right
warlock.
there with you. Yeah. Yeah.
I've stopped caring until Warden and Nothing week because that's when I'm gonna go
That's
nuts
when
again.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wendy
I
Farms.
just don't
God,
care if I
Wendy.
lose stuff at the moment because I know I'm gonna get it back.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
Mr.
old
1000 GMs in a season.
I didn't do 1,000 GMs in the season. What do you mean?
I know, that's why I said it.
I haven't done that. You can't do that.
What is the most? I think you did 400, and that was the 6-month season, wasn't it?
I'm actually bringing it up at the moment. The most I have done in a season is 326 clears in season
Jesus.
17,
Wasn't too far.
and of which
Slacking.
there was 188 were first timers.
Wow.
I'm sorry, slacking. But I've
Step
got
it up.
1,300 total. What do you mean?
But yeah, like I said, I kind of find myself in the middle. I'm kind of bored of doing bounties, but I am excited to get into Lightfall. Because there's a lot of things changing. There's so much changing that it's hard to comprehend everything that we're going to be
Yes.
seeing.
Yes.
And we're going to basically we have to like relearn like a lot of it. Like we can sit here and spitball and say, yeah, we like this is going to be this, that's going to be that, but it's, you know, we're not really. It's like the whole, you know, I'm good, you throwing theory at me, but until like I put it into practice and like
Yeah.
actually get my hands on it, then
Yeah.
we don't know the potential of it all.
Right.
So
And as
got
these
bigger.
articles kind of come out, I'm reading them and I'm like, is it even worth putting builds together at this point? Like
yeah,
the whole like they're removing like elements from the build, from like the mods or whatever, and then like the whole thing that came out today, I was reading and I was like, what preparation should I do there? Am I just gonna like wait until it all comes out and then play with like the new like
yeah.
ecosystem that exists? I feel like that's what you have to do, because like it just feels like there's so much that's going to change, and I'm like, well, I can't prepare that, so what can I control and prepare? But I feel like it's fun because I think there's a lot of like we can do a lot of postulating right now about what that's
Lot
going
of-
to
lot
look
of
like, but I
thinking
need to
ahead.
actually get in the toy store and start building things myself before I feel like I'm really owning the new content. You know, like right now it's a lot of
Yeah.
like guessing, I guess.
yeah, we can spitball and we can sort
Yeah.
of try and prepare as much, and I guess that's where a little bit of the excitement sort of lies. But it's fun to think and try and think ahead about, try and come up with something someone else hasn't come up with, to
Mhm.
think about what do I need to do, how, like, here's my game plan, you know. Really cool.
Yeah. Working backwards from this week, because we have gotten a lot of information this week, and it's just Wednesday.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Just today, there's a lot of info that I'm
Yeah.
still like, whoa.
so why don't we start with the information that we got on Tuesday with Strand? What is everybody looking forward to with Strand? We have 3 new subclasses coming with that. For Warlocks are getting the Broodweaver, Titans are getting Berserker, and Hunters are getting the Threadrunner. Reading through that article, what has you excited? What has you concerned, possibly? And what?
Well, I think we all have the same concern. Poor PvP.
Yeah.
No, they've had their time in the sun. No,
I'm just saying.
for real. No, for real. No, I agree. For me, looking forward to Strand overall is the fact it's a different take on a subclass in terms of they want it to be the APM tree that you go to, because there's not gonna lie, there's some similarities between strand and stasis, immobilizing a target, and completely removing them from the fight just by stunning them by weaving them, or by, in stasis' terms, freezing them. The end result is the same, but it's how quickly you can weave your abilities together, which is the theme I'm getting from it. A point in case is Hunter's Melee. The rope dart that can ricochet up to what we've seen as 5 targets. We don't know if it's any more. And if you press the melee button again on its return, you get a lot more melee energy back. That's brand new as a whole. Like, we've never had to do something at the end result of a skill before to gain a benefit from it. It's like eat grenade, I gain ability, or I hold grenade and throw it with, like, controverted, for example. Now I throw it out, I can turn my attention elsewhere for a brief moment, and then I need to catch my knife again to gain the best benefit from it. I still gain a benefit from it if I don't, and that's fine. But if I want the most out of my subclass now, I need to pay attention a bit more, and I like that. Like, make me think more. What am I doing? How am I doing it? And how quickly can I do it? That's what I want from it.
On you saying that, and from the blog post that we got on Tuesday following the Strand trailer that came out on Tuesday, this is straight out of that blog post. Smith picks up that thought and runs with it. I defeat an enemy with my melee ability and then unwind into a tangle. I grapple onto the tangle, which refunds my grapple and snatch the tangle out of midair. I then hurl the tangle at a group of enemies in the distance, grappling onto that tangle again while it flies and pulls me through the air behind it. As the tangle nears a group of enemies, I slam downward out of my grapple to suspend a lone enemy who split off from the group while the tangle slams into the rest of the group and explodes. There's a lot of these really cool dynamic interactions built into Strand that makes it feel unique.
That my fingers feel exhausted from you just reading that.
Yeah, I feel exhausted. There's a lot, like you're picturing yourself. You can picture all that sort of happening, and it everything complements each other by the sounds of it. And there's a lot of moving parts to it's adding basically a combo system into the game. And before, we've had the whole MMO sort of deal where it's like priming and igniting, right? That's what we've seen from Charger Light and Elemental, wells and all that. So it's the priming and it's the igniting, where this just feels like combo this, combo that. What's the next thing? Yep, continue on to that, and then finish with a big spectacle and a big handstand at the end, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from that.
They sped up how Warmind cells work, and if you haven't caught on to what Warmind cell is in terms of Strand, it's a tangle.
Yeah.
And they've built that into the subclass for everybody, which I think is great. So Warmind cells technically are going, like most of the mods are going, but by the sounds of it, with Strand, you're going to be getting them back. And hopefully there's a light cooldown on how many tangles you can produce in a given second. It sounds like you'll be able to just keep slinging these across the map no matter what, at all times, which will be fantastic for Adcliffe.
Why did a monkey throwing poop across the cage come into my mind then?
Yeah, that's getting edited out.
He's writing it down.
You don't know. This show's changed since the last time you guys were on.
I'm aware, Dan.
But yeah, Tilly, what about you? What are you thinking?
I am not excited.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a controversial take, but
it is. I just like you now. Moving on.
Okay. I think that the idea of possibly doing some game breaking, accessing previous areas that we haven't accessed before. I'm interested to see how thoughtful Bungie is about that, whether they're going to block off areas and kill zones, or if they're maybe going to give us points. I think we talked about this in the last time we were on, like giving us points where we can access new things like findables, or like cool new like last sectors or whatever. Like, I would love to see that as an opportunity to build something cool and new into the game. So I like that idea. I think that movement tech in games is fun, and this seems like it's exactly that. It's movement tech. That being said, I feel like this has been said. I feel like the Titan fantasy falls really short. I think that like they talked about the other two fantasies, and I'm a Titan main, and so I'm like looking at that. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm not excited about that. Like I literally don't see myself moving on and using this at all. Really, I don't. Like unless like what like the combo stuff is. I don't find that super exciting. I think the stuff that Rev is talking about, like, you know, maybe having these tangles act as war mind cells and like be super ad clear potential, like that's exciting. Like if that becomes the ad clear meta, like war mind cells used to be, then I will use Strand reluctantly and begrudgingly. But like I'm not expecting, knowing this information, enjoying it. Like I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'm probably gonna stay on what's comfy already, you know? Yeah.
Fair and fair. And that's been part of the conversation as well, is the Titan subclass feeling like it doesn't have as much of a separate identity as the Hunter and the Warlock
really doesn't
abilities. Like,
what color do you want your punch? Oh yes, green.
Green punch, please. I would like cold flavored punch, please.
So we have blueberry punch. We have green apple punch.
Yeah.
Yes. Sour green apple if you want it to be.
We
spicy,
had raspberry punch last time.
Yeah,
are we promoting energy drinks now? What is this?
I think Bana and I both have competing energy drinks behind us.
I know.
So,
like I'm not selling any of that.
Yeah. Just a fan.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing that trailer, I was excited to see the abilities. Titan is an ability. Like it just has giant blades on it. It looks cool. We were having this conversation in stream last night where it's like, what would you want to see different out of a Titan ability? Like we have I can hit things with my face ability. We have roaming super, and we have bubble Titan. Would you want to see more of a support role out of a Titan class? Would you want to see like what?
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. What else would you want to see in that place?
We ultimately have two support role bards for Titan, right? We have Sentinel Shield, Banner Shield, and Water Dawn in the same subclass. Right? You can still use Sentinel Shield as a roaming super, depending on the exotics you got, and like improve it. But yeah, I've always sort of seen myself as more of a support Titan. Kind of doing the role of a warlock where there is no warlock. So yeah, no, I definitely love something more Titan-esque, but support-wise, that sort of gives back to the fire team. And also saying that, we've got one thing to choose from, sort of, ultimate DPS-wise, and that used to be included just your throwing hammers with, different perks and weapons and everything, and Code of the Missile, so Thunder Crash.
Yeah.
So those are the only two. Yeah, there's the only two sort of thing. Warlock has, Chaos Reach and Nova Bomb, and a couple of different versions of that. Hunter has Tether, which you can do for huge amounts of DPS, and the Lightning Rod, as well. So, and Blade Barrage. So Hunter ultimately, right, depending on who you ask, is the go-to for huge amounts of damage output. And has been for quite a while. You can match it depending on what you've got running on your Titan and who you are, but ultimately, the Hunter is the DPS monster, and you would think,
so you're basically saying like Warlock is kind of like the support hero, and then Hunter is kind of the DPS hero. Titan is trying to find like, where is my space? Like, what is my role in these classes? Like, where do I shine?
Exactly.
Counterpoint on that though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Warlock with Protocol still does a shit ton of damage with fusion nades. A Warlock can still put out the DPS.
Yeah.
Theoretically, each class can do a DPS
while supporting as well, right?
Well, and like a Hunter could still put a like a healing nade, but that's the only thing that a Hunter can do other than giving, restoration and the healing nade. They don't really do much.
Style, Tiddly.
Yeah,
We did
we do
style.
Invis 80% of the time.
But what I would like to see too,
You're playing with Bergen too much.
Rob does it too.
because the warlock excels well at healing. They got the wells,
Yeah.
they got the rifts, they got the nades, they got it all. They don't need to do any more support. If anything, I would like to see something a little bit different. Give a warlock a tanky class.
Mm-hmm.
Give the Titan DPS and give the hunter maybe healing. Or you could just jumble it around. Who cares? I like to see the Titan actually be super, super tanky for once in like a
Yes.
PvE sandbox. So
It
like,
doesn't,
okay,
yeah. I don't
Just
feel like
kind
the Titan right now has that like I'm big and beefy and like strong and like invulnerable fantasy, especially since they nerfed Bubble so much.
Yeah.
Now
He's
Bubble
saying
feels
that.
so squishy and like I like
So-
don't feel that fantasy anymore, you know?
I
It's
don't
just
know
like,
if we will get that because you then have to translate that to the PvP community.
right,
And that's,
which
that's what
Bubble
they've
is
now
obviously
done.
a problem
Exactly,
in the
they've now
PvP
fixed
community
that.
because of the objective-based maps they talked about
Exactly.
today. Yeah.
So,
So,
I can kind
you
of
know,
give
could you
a
imagine having 6 Titans all super resilient running through PvP? It's
we can't because that's what we have right now.
Right? You know,
so
exactly.
kind of like playing Final Fantasy 14, and because I know Destiny kind of Bungie wanted Destiny to be MMO kind of style, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 does it better with PvP. Granted, PvP's freaking dead in that game, but abilities are completely separated from the PvE sandbox. So for tanks in particular in 14, they have a invuln, and then they also have mitigation tools to prevent themselves from like getting hurt and everything. So like good example is Dark Knight, which is one of the tanks. They have an ability that basically I can't die now, but I have to heal everything back. I know Bungie can turn off stuff between the sandboxes, and they have the ability to.
Yep.
So if they want to do an MMO style like they've been wanting to, they can separate the sandboxes very well. I mean, if Square Enix can, they can.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to class identity, Titans don't fall. You want something dead, you call a hunter.
Mm.
You need support, you call a warlock. They all actually fill that role. But the lines aren't that far apart.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a hunter, I don't need to fall if I have a stasis building, for example. That's why Destiny is separate from the rest of the MMOs. It's okay, I main Titan, for example, and I want to wipe out the entire room just as quick as a hunter or warlock can. How can I do that? Have you seen Heart of Inmost Light on Arc? I don't need to be. I now no longer. There's no risk to that because I just need to do my thruster and then throw a nade. Keep doing my thruster and throwing a nade. I'm now doing what the other classes can already do without any investing. Strand appears to be the tanky subclass that you've all just actually spoke about. The reason why I say that is there's a fundamental passive built into all three called Woven Mail. It reduces damage. In PvP, it's balanced by you can still get headshot, it doesn't mitigate crit damage, and it doesn't mitigate melees. You still do full damage with them. The body shot damage is mitigated with Woven Mail, and all of them can do it. So if you don't want to die as a Titan, you pick Strand, or you pick Stasis. You want something dead and quick, you call a Hunter on Arc, well now Strand. You want an entire room decimated in the blink of an eye, the Broodweaver, or say a Voidlock, can do that just as easily because they excel at that. We do have a class identity, but it's not going to be as like 14 or any other MMO because this isn't like that.
Mm.
It's an FPS at its core. It's a looter shooter. It's not an MMO, but it has the fundamentals to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've been wanting to. They've been calling it that for a while. So how
Yeah,
can you call it an MMO if you don't really do the MMO style stuff? But
They do that, but doing it now, it's just not as clear as what you want.
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. They basically have like blurred the lines a little bit, especially with the 3.0 subclasses and all the changes. They've given hunters healing. They've given, you know, like Titans, like the grenades are like ridiculous, which obviously that's changing. But you know, but I see what you're saying. Like the lines have gotten blurred a little bit between like who's the healer, who's the damage dealer, who's the DPS like person. And I think that's good. I just think that you know, for Titans, it would be nice to have a more clear identity.
Yeah.
It's like you said, the Titan, I'm sorry, I don't know what you said about in terms of like the resist thing that everyone's getting, but everyone's getting it. You didn't say it's just for Titans. It's just like everyone's
It's
getting
built
it.
in by the looks of it. What they said is, from what we've seen, is it's built into
It's-
Strand as a whole.
Right.
woven
So I
mail.
mean, I just
So
want
we
to
can
be
do it.
special, Rev. I just want to be
So-
special.
I want Titans to be
And
special
I
as well.
want when we go into GM for somebody to be like, "Can you bring a Titan?" Okay, it's always a warlock, Rev.
So
They always want a warlock. It's so sad.
So while we've been talking, about 10 minutes ago, the Destiny 2 team put out a tweet saying, "We are monitoring recent impressions around the new Strand Berserker Titan. The team understands the landscape of our Titan supers during development and has made sure that Strand Titan offers new gameplay opportunities to make it feel fresh compared to previous subclasses."
Who's
like,
watching? Who's watching the podcast right now? Which
Look,
Spongy Dev is
I don't know, man.
sitting in?
I don't know.
Dan, who
I
should
don't
go?
know. I don't
Dan,
know.
you have more contacts than anyone.
Look, I don't know. I have no idea. It's not me. It's not me. The call is not coming from inside the house. Okay?
Because like when there were showcases in the supers and everything, I was like, oh cool, Warlock's got another long range ability. Oh
Yeah.
cool, Hunter's got another long range ability. Oh fucking god damn it,
So-
the Titan's
This-
got more punch.
Yeah.
This is Titans. Titans are hunters last year with Void 3.0. Everyone said
Yeah.
that like we didn't see anything. We barely saw anything about hunters last year. When we saw
Yeah.
everything, they barely released anything. Hunters were the broken Void 3.0 thing
Yeah.
for Witch Queen and
Yeah.
for that season. Okay, we haven't seen 100%. Like, yeah, of course, there's impressions. They put this stuff out for like, you know, they know what they're expecting. They're not stupid, contrary to what some people on the internet will say.
Anime
But,
PFPs.
you know,
Yeah.
So right, but they've only released two aspects.
Yeah.
Two aspects.
Yeah.
Right.
We won't
There's
know
still a
until we
third
get there.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know how that
Yeah.
stuff integrates to like the
We don't
you know
know
the current exotics and the exotics that are coming out with it. So you know, for
Mhm.
all we know, it could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
just it could last like 3 years a super, and you know, just take
Yeah,
out the
Please
entire.
no.
You know,
And
you
the,
never know,
and the other
but-
thing that to point out is that it's a live service game. So
Yeah.
if it comes out and Titans suck and no one like uses them, like uses Titan Strand, then they'll notice that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll change it and update it because like they want us to enjoy playing this game, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're even tweeting about that means that they have their eye on community
Mhm.
feedback, which
Yeah.
is one of the things they're really great at. So
And we
you
know
know.
they ship this stuff like they've said we
Yeah.
ship it overpowered, right?
right,
Stasis is the
that's
same.
the
They
goal. Yeah,
ship it
that's the
overpowered,
goal.
and then they bring it back in line because
Yeah.
they want
Yeah.
people to come in, try this new thing that's
That's-
bloody crazy.
That's actually the
So-
correct way whenever you do like stuff. So again, pulling from another video game, League of Legends has a tendency to, when they bring out a new champion, they tend to overtune it because it's easier to pull it back than it is to buff it, because buffing sometimes doesn't give you a good idea of like how strong it's gonna be. So like
Sure.
Mm.
I mean, there's been champions that have been released. They have a 30% win rate. They buff it. Next thing you know, they're the most overpowered thing in the mid lane, and you got to ban it every single time because you don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The I know, so in some of the articles that they release through PC Gamer, I sent those articles along with as part of the
Mhm.
thing. So PC Gamer, I know there's a couple of things in there that I want to touch on before maybe we move on to like the ability thing.
Sure, yeah.
So they are going to be making Strand easier to get than what Stasis was. It like you will have by the end of the Lightfall campaign, you're going to have more of a starter set of Strand, and by the end of the year, going into the final shape, you're going to have the full kit at that point. But by the end of the campaign, it sounds like you'll at least have most of the building blocks without having to go in week after week to grind out aspects and dear God, why did this hurt me so bad? I'm having trauma thinking about it.
I
Not-
I can't get
on my
my
Titan, by the way. My Titan has never actually touched Behemoth, and it never will
Yeah.
because of that quest. I never made it easier, but screw it, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Hit-
understandable.
pain.
Yeah.
It was
That was a
pain.
grind. Yeah.
Haterade
What do you think
says
about
hello.
them? Like,
Go ahead.
what do you think about them like bringing the aspects out? Like every what was it like? Every
See-
week there was like a new mission to, you know,
Yeah.
For the
for that.
fragment.
Sorry,
Yeah.
for the fragments there was a new mission, and like when the season following there was a new mission to, you know, pick up the fragments sort of as we went along. I remember that being stasis, and I just hope that's not brought forward with this. I hope
Sounds
it's
like
the
they're
same
not.
thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Void 3.0 to, you know, bring out a bunch, and then some fragments then don't get released until the raid is beat
Yeah.
or whatever it was like last year. So
I feel like that was a
Um,
good rollout.
That
Like
was.
for 3.0 when it came to the raids.
Yeah.
And
because you can also see like which ones are still yet to come out, and then you're like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. So, you know, as soon as the raid's been, I can go get that. So
the not only that, but they also are like talking about PvP. They know that it's going to probably like people are just going to use it a lot because it's the new
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
the newness. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to use it. It's going to be hot for a little while, but they'll eventually like tape it down, kind of like what they did with Stasis.
All I can think of is a hunter just riding a Titan through PvP and just going yeah, and just
Yeah.
drive by, just mutilating everyone with Strand.
Yeah, with with somebody just like jumping with the sword, just bounding with the sword.
Yeah.
Insanity.
How do you know my
Yeah.
game plan?
so
No, I
think
mean,
of
I'm
it like
kind of.
this. Sorry, you go.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Like just reading over like what Luke Smith is talking about Strand and PvP. Granted, I
Mhm.
stopped playing PvP because I wasn't having fun, but
Yeah.
except in trials. But like, it sounds like they have an awareness of like mitigating the crowd control and how bad that felt for stasis, which I appreciate because I definitely like I feel like if they get it right in PvP, it's gonna be the movement's gonna be super fun and people are gonna enjoy doing that in
Yeah.
PvP. And the crowd control isn't gonna be oppressive. I think if they can nail that balance, like he's talking about, I think then it's gonna be it could actually be like a fun thing in PvP. People could really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Speaking of PvP and moving into our abilities and beyond, we are getting a lot of tuning with Lightfall. Mentioning specifically in this article that they released today, when you're listening to this, it's Friday. When we're recording, it's Wednesday, and this came out like just a couple hours ago. But they said, moving forward, our goal with ability uptime in both PvE and PvP is to get back to roughly where we were with the 30th anniversary pack launched on December 2021, which is what a lot of people have called like some of the best sandbox in Destiny ever was that season. We're making some changes in the ability, energy, economy, and Lightfall and subsequent seasons to correct ability uptime while still rewarding players for investing in build crafting and fine-tuning their guardian into the perfect monster slaying machine. Thoughts?
Yes.
Yes. Of course.
Just yes. The
Yes.
first anniversary had a what was close to a balanced sandbox at the time. Yeah, we had outliers. Every sandbox will, but that's the closest we actually had to balance. That was before airborne effectiveness. It was as a tier system was introduced. So as the 3.0s came about, a lot of things got more egregious. Grenade spam, and how they made certain things like Touch of Thunder Storm Nage being able to track a damn player around a damn corner on a Titan, one of the most aggressive subclasses in the game. Like they said prior they foresaw things like this happening, and it did. Like, even Class C Restoration, granted that was a seasonal mod and it's been and gone. And I doubt we'll ever see it again. Please don't. But that sandbox was the closest we had to balance, and it was fun. It was genuinely fun to step into PvP back then, because at the time, gunplay was way more prevalent versus now than it was back then.
Yep.
So-
Ability spam. Yeah.
It's now ability spam. Like before you engage, you have your overshield
Yep.
up. You check
Yep.
to make sure you got your dodge. Do I have my riff? Cool. Is chog on my shoulder so I can send it out the first guy I hit?
Mhm.
Like, do I have my nade? You don't think I can just free tap the guy with a hand cannon? I'm in range. No, you want to you want to have that degree of control, and ability should play a part in that. You do need to push people out of bunkered positions to counteract another ability, but there needs to be a level playing field of it. They said they wanted to get to 60-40 gunplay. Okay, and I'm hoping that they've listened to that the whole year, because it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah.
In PvP, and it sucked the life out of it for me. I only do trials now, and I begrudgingly do trials. I don't like matchmaking is another topic of that, but it's not part of this. But in terms of abilities, I hate it, man. I use a bow, and only really use a bow for my engagements. Like, I heal when I need to heal. I block off an entrance with a grenade. I hardly ever use it to push, because there's no need for me to use it to push because of my weapon of choice. So if we can get to a situation where most players feel that way about the gun in their hand versus the grenade in their pocket, that'd be great. Because the gunplay in this game is next to none. Like, you can't put it on. There's only one close to it, and that would be Apex.
Yeah.
It was a gunplay. And they balance abilities with gunplay very well, in my opinion. So I'm hoping we can get back to that.
So as part of this article, it feels like we're getting a bop across the board, because we already know that we're getting tier 10 of resilience is going to only grant you 30% resilience, or 30% damage reduction, which is 10% off of what we get now. In this article, they say that the rescaling the efficacy of discipline, strength, and each class ability stat on grenade melee and class ability regeneration rates, by in general making the regeneration provided by a tier 10 stat roughly by what is now a 10 tier stat is now roughly equivalent to an 8 in the previous system. So that's post Lightfall. When you hit 10, it's going to be the regeneration of 8. Do you guys feel like that'll help with some of the skill ceiling? Do you guys feel that will help meet that 60-40?
Yeah, because they only seem to have hit in the past specific cooldowns rather than the overarching stat that governs it. Like, if the reduction for discipline now means that grenades, you're not going to have a grenade every 20 seconds. It's going to be like maybe 32, 34 in some cases, depending on the grenade of your choice. And that's what I've recently been asking for, is a natural passive nerf versus dust field nade, it now takes 10 extra seconds to cool down, but the storm nade is still way more oppressive. No, this kills all of that in one fell swoop, and that's fair, and that's fine, because now everybody gets hit with that instead of this one overarching oppressive thing, which is still which thankfully has actually been addressed in PvP. But this new approach to passive nerfing is good, in my opinion, and we'll see where it lands at tier 8. I think tier 8's a solid one in this current version, so if you want to experience that, drop your stats down to tier 8 now, and you will see what it's roughly going to be like in Lightfall. Granted, the resilience one, you're at 32, it's a 2% difference, like, who gives a shit? So just get practicing now if you want to experience what Lightfall's going to be about. Drop everything to tier 8.
Joke's on you, I'm already there.
Imagine having like triple 100 builds, please.
I'm going to quintuple 80 builds. Watch out.
Of course you are. I think it's good. I think that they're trying to broadly address some of the damage, some of the like the power creep that's happened, and I think that's something that's been talked about pretty generally. The power creep and how like the fantasy, like we're like, oh, all the 3.0 subclasses, and now we're like, oh shit, now we're so strong. There's no danger anymore. We want to feel like the game is hard and scary and like we could possibly die, and now we're not just like invincible anymore. So it's kind of weird. It's like it's so funny because it's like the community never knows what they want. They're like, make us powerful, and then we're like, no, not that powerful. So I think that's
too
kind
cold.
of too hot. No, I don't know. I don't like this either. No,
not enough.
I think
Flash.
I think that's something they said that was interesting in the article that came out today is that abilities are surpassing supers, and I definitely think that's the case.
Mhm.
I think that we talked about this a little bit, Rev. You said that like people are thinking about Chaos Reach as as a third ability rather
Yeah.
than a super now, as like an
Yeah, that's how
tier
I see
ability.
it now. Yeah,
Which I think that is so interesting that you said that, because we talked about that this week, and then they're coming out with this article and saying abilities are surpassing supers, and I really do think that's the case. I think part of it is the orb generation was hit so hard, and like you're just not getting your supers as fast. But I also think that the grenades in many of the classes are too strong, and I think this is their way of trying to say, hey, we hear this, we want supers to like mean something again, and like we're trying to build into that. I'm wondering if this nerf is it's it's in terms of like discipline in particular, but like the other I'm like what are you going to build into? I mean, that's one of these big questions you have, is like, I'm grinding artifice armor. What am I going to build into? What stat's going to be important? Like if discipline cooldown is really like terrible, do I even care? Is it like a strength stat? Like it turns into a stat that no one cares about, and it's just like, I'm not going to worry about getting high discipline stat armor, because I'm going to work on some kind of mod combination that's going to help me get it back faster or whatnot. And I think the really truly interesting piece, the thing that I really enjoyed most about the article, was the fall damage and the physics change. I think that's so cool. I'm just so excited to not be murdered by my friends in raids with the funny sword. And people are
Rev and I earlier were like, literally, throw me at him. Come on.
Yeah, no, I was like, this is
great that I will end up still killing my people with funny sword. You can't stop me, Bungie. I will do it.
I mean, I know you'll find a way, and it's just, I think it's going to be an interesting change. I think it's going to make the game feel fresh and new. I think that it's going to end a lot of our like emotional torment with the true aggressor in Destiny, which is obviously Misfortune and the Architects. They're obviously the two biggest threats out there. So it's going to kind of like, maybe Bungie is letting us defeat that final, maybe that's the final like stage, right? We get to defeat Misfortune and the Architects, right? That's actually the last reveal, right?
No, in reality, it's actually Rev.
That's the final shape.
That's
the final shape.
That's the final shape.
Is defeating we really are defeating the Architects. So anyway.
It was the
I love that. I
Architects
think
and
that's gonna be
Trevor's
fun.
behind the scenes.
Is this going to affect dying on sparrows? Because I really hate that. That's just terrible.
Oh, what, like
probably not, because
running
it's
your
like
sparrow like straight away, into like a branch? Yeah.
I don't
maybe.
know. I just always die on my sparrow. It's mostly the exploding sparrow. I probably will still die on my sparrow.
Yeah.
This to me says two things. This to me says that I'm gonna miss shin splints. I'm gonna miss them because you're not gonna you're gonna hit the bottom of the barrel and it's like, and 1 HP. Oh, God damn it. All right. Well, there. I guess that saves my flawless run.
And then an ad tickles you and you're like,
It's but it makes me ask a question of like, did they have to implement this because of the physics changes?
Oh yeah,
that like Strand promised.
For sure, Strand. It's definitely a byproduct of Strand. Definitely. Like if you have guardians hurtling through the air at Mach like Jesus, like they're just like
Mach Jesus.
They're just like they probably were playtesting it and dying constantly, and they're like, this isn't fun. I want to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't go splat. He's not a real bug.
I still can't get over the Mach Jesus.
Fun. Yeah, Mach Jesus is
just you know when you like break the sound barrier, it's like a circle, and just like a smoke. Now it's like a cross. It's a cross with some like clouds around it, and Mach Jesus.
Put it on a shirt.
No,
ship it.
So like, think of it like this: your buddy funny saws you, right? You've gone out. This hunter latches onto you with Strand. You've gone flying. He's coming with you, and then you funny sword to then go further, and then your buddy ends up going over. You've had two increments of momentum whacking each other, and then this hunter is like Mark Jesus out over here. So yeah, like you're gonna need something to not kill you.
Think of the oobing.
100% of the
There's
time.
gonna be so much oobing, massive amounts of oobing.
And like we spoke about this last time.
Ouija's gonna go nuts,
together.
Rev.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he is.
He's gonna be oobing everywhere.
last time we were here, we spoke about, obviously, you brought up earlier, Tiddly, but about like the crystals, right? Stasis crystals, and we were like, okay, everyone's gonna chuck stasis crystals over the wall. We're gonna need to do that to then quickly like move on to do this jumping puzzle and this activity or whatever, and it just never happened. Whereas I think there's more of a case now to have Strand equipped to possibly get to these places, like you were saying at the beginning.
I don't know. I think I definitely see people using stasis crystals to access places that weren't previously accessible. However, it's a very limited number of people.
Yes.
So like I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Strand 2. I think there's going to be people who like breaking things who are going to go out and break things with Strand 2. You know, I think the general population is just going to be like, "Oh, cool. I'm flying. Oh, cool. Things are exploding. This is fun. Yay." So, you know, I think it's going to be I can fly. Oh my god. I'm a big boy now.
He says as he crosses Widow's Court in front of a sniper.
Yeah. Woohoo!
But
Dan thinks he's off to Netherland with Peter Pan.
Come on, Dick. We're off to save the Lost Boys. Like it's the whole thing is like I don't see how they don't put more kill walls into the game. I don't see how that isn't a reality.
Because I'm gonna be a grumpy hunter if I can't, shimmy sham some weird corners. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I see it, I want to be able to go to it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's kind of like the the thing in video games. If I can see it, I want to be able to jump there or go there.
That's some Rise of Iron throwback right there. You just said. And if you remember,
oh yeah, are you talking about the mountain?
See that mountain? Yeah. You can go there. No, we fucking can't.
That was built into the game, and I remember when I did it, and I was like, "This is so cool." I felt like I was cheating or something, but I think that's like a nice way to appease people who are going to break the game anyway. But yeah. I think it's a nice way to appease people who are like, "I want to use this to access cool stuff," and then like they build something in. I would love to see that.
Skyrim
type of situation. Yeah.
Climb the mountain.
I want to climb the mountain. I do.
With a horse going.
So, in this article, we also just received like new information about more fragments coming to light subclasses and updating a handful of fragments on Solar and Void to tie into the
more fragments, or is it?
It says we'll be adding some new fragments,
right? Yeah,
to the Lightfall subclass,
and that's the one that came out today. Yeah.
So, of those changes, what are you most excited for? Bana, before we started recording, you were like, Void's going to be...
Void.
Yeah.
Void. Yeah, Void. I agree. Ember, Echo of Vigilance, yeah.
There's one there, okay. Echo of Cessation, new. Finish your final blows, create a burst of void damage that causes nearby enemies to become volatile. Defeating volatile targets creates a void breach. It's a fucking double woozy. Right, sorry,
a double woozy,
quack woozy, right? So like we where they've spoken about the build crafting a couple of weeks ago, build crafting blog that came out first, and everything volatile, right? Jolting, all those things, the other subclasses, but basically, everything being able to affect champions and affect things a different way. Just seeing those come out, we don't have our hands on, but your mind starts wondering. But I think Void across the board will just be. We haven't had anything. Yeah, we haven't had anything new with Void for like a year, right? By this point, by the time this comes out.
Like, look at Echo of Cessation. It makes things volatile, which is damagey, and then it creates a Void breach. And if you pair it with Echo of Starvation, it gives you Devour. So that like you get Devour, and then Echo of Vigilance gives you a Void overshield when you're low, which. What was that? It feels like Protective Light, kind of, doesn't it? Like, so it's like it just feels like those three together have such good synergy, and they're so tanky. Like, it feels like it's it's going to be like a endgame build situation.
They've said that they're changing or removing some Charger Light and Elemental mods because they're moving them to other places. Protective Light, where you just said, it feels like that. It does. It does. It does sound like that. So that's probably going to be a mod that they remove. Right, it's
right. Maybe it's in place of, or
So we're talking about consolidating, standardizing, simplifying, and synergizing everything. That's what this expansion, this update feels like.
Like it feels
Void.
tremendous what all that they're doing. And like even for like DLC standards, it feels like a level higher with all the changes to just the base structure.
One sort of negative of it is obviously, like in the past, like last year we received glaives, right?
Yeah.
So glaives are a big thing. Brand new sort of void stuff, right? There's all this. So to like a returning player that hasn't been on for like a year, and I've been seeing that a lot recently. We were talking about this earlier about, you know, how do we feel about Destiny at the moment? And some said bored, some said excited, but like there's a lot of hype starting up, so people are starting to come back.
Yeah.
To try to explain to either long returning players or brand new players what's going on, it can come across a little bit overwhelming and confusing, because we obviously see all this, we play this all the time, so we see all these changes and we're like, yep, that means this, that means that. But trying to then translate that to someone brand new, or, you know, hasn't been a hardcore player or been involved for a long time, it kind of looks like there isn't that much coming in. Do you guys know what I'm getting at, or am I?
Yeah. Like,
So it doesn't look like there's anything new. However, this is probably the biggest change since Shadowkeep introducing Armor 2.0. And this is 5-10 times bigger than that. So
how are you guys answering that question in your streams?
With a lot of stuttering.
Ineloquently.
Yeah, like it's so much. Like someone asked me today, like
so much,
what artifice, like why is everyone farming artifice armor?
Yeah.
Right. So this is what it currently does, and then it's going to do this. But why is that special when it goes to do this? Because, you know, with all the stat, like, yada yada yada. But like, yeah, you kind of have to take it slow. But unless you have something, and this is what I like to see from, like, you know, some of our YouTuber friends, is sort of breakdowns of this, and that's people are going to flock to YouTube, and that's why I'm excited for my buddies over on YouTube, creating this content, breaking everything down, make it simplifying it for people to then learn and then go and create their builds and everything. Because I'm not the one to explain that, but I would love to, when I'd look forward to that content coming out, so I can refer people to my friends that do a good job at doing that. So
I mean, it says something to the complexity of the game that it requires translators to play it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I always struggle when people come to my stream and say, "Hey, I'm new to the game. What do I need to know?" I'm like, you know, go in there, find what you enjoy, and don't worry about the rest of it. Like
because we just know, like we just know
it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It really is. And I feel like you're right, Bona. I think that they're this expansion, they're really trying to drill it down, simplify, put build crafting into the game, make that more simple, make it more accessible. But honestly, like, oh, there's a kitty. Hello.
That's a big kitty.
Yeah, it's a cutie.
Jesus.
I look like a kitty. Oh, I got excited.
No.
I don't know. I think that's an admirable goal. But I think even with all of this simplification, I think that it's still going to require interpreters. I think the YouTube is going to be really important, and like people on streams explaining why things are important and how things work. Like we really share in that interpretation and like help people find the game accessible. But at the end of the day, you're booting up the game. You play it the way you want to play it.
Yeah.
Like you can get as much or as little into the lore and story as you want. You can get as much or as little into the build crafting as you want. If you want to just go in there and, like, you know, kill things, you could do that, and that's okay. Like there's no right way to play Destiny, and I think that's great. And I think
exactly.
I don't think you. When somebody's new in particular, I don't want to overwhelm them. Just be like, go in, have fun, hang out with your friends, see what you like, and then go from there. And it's interesting because you will find that people will find their niches and what they love. You know, like I have a friend who started playing the game in a year, and she's doing GM helps, and like she's like, you know, insane, and like, you know, like it just depends on who the person is and what they're gonna like. So
people, when they come into stream and they're like, hey, like, I'm new and I'm looking forward to Lightfall, what should I be doing right now? I've been telling them, do whatever, like literally anything you want. do that now because it's going to be completely different in like a month.
Yep.
I guess we can move from the abilities conversation over to build crafting, because like that's another huge
The thing that started it all.
All right, take over, Rev.
Yeah. So in a major portions of what Bonna just said, where it's like when it comes down to consolidation, like they talked about that on January 18th. Yeah, it's somebody start because I
like just read through it,
or like just what are your impressions? What do you like? What are the pitfalls?
They kicked it off with the loadouts and showing us the new loadout screen. Basically, on the main thing, you've got the D-pad down the bottom for controllers, or probably the arrow keys or whatever for PC. But it shows obviously the way your weapons are on the left side with your subclass and your weapons. But you see off to the side there are two different things. One will be your weapon mods, and then one will be your on the left you've got your loadouts and everything. I'm pretty sure the other side is like your actual
that's your inventory.
Your inventory. So we'll see that in a little bit. But we can basically build loadouts now, and you can see everything there all listed at once instead of going into each piece individually like we used to do. So they've kicked it off straight away with the brand new addition to the new UI that way. So, again, simplification and consolidating, as we've all just said. And yeah, one of the biggest things, I guess, with that is removing affinities from armor. So we now no longer have mods tied to an affinity on an armor piece, whether it be whatever. So everything's now just gray. And yeah, like I think that what they said with the blog post they brought out today was the class item mods, where everything was that you had like 2 or 3 per class item that could only be done on that, whereas now you'll be able to put those on everything, and you're going to get some really cool combinations with that sort of going forward. So
it's not exactly the case like that. They've said they've released all the elemental affinities, so now it doesn't matter what armor piece you use as long as you got the stat. Cool, you go ahead and use it. It no longer needs to be stasis for power preservation or solar for access to assets. I can now have those too, but they are locked to the helmet. I can't have 15 ashes to assets, for example. But this now also means that I can now have 3 elemental resists across the board now, which will be better. Which will be a better buff than what we have at the moment, because the diffusion mod that we have is only 5%, and granted, it is additive; it's not multiplicative. If you decide to triple stack it, if you have artifice armor at the moment, you can get 15% across the board. These resist mods, the ones we've always had, are multiplicative and actually give a bigger bonus. So if you've liked the diffusion, you're definitely going to like going forward with resist mod on your chest piece in Lightfall. You actually gain a bigger benefit. I do like how they've consolidated everything onto essentially just one screen. So it's everything I need. I'm still going to be using D2 armor picker.
Agreed.
Shout out to Miyago, a homeboy. Because I can't be asked to go through my entire vault and go, yes, this piece is the missing piece for the build I need. I don't know shit. I need that. But we have a lot more freedom going forward with our builds. Like, as the screenshot at the top of this article shows, with the raid custom loadout on the flyout, the helmet has power preservation, which is a good mod, but Ashes to Assets and All Hands On are better mods. So why would I ever need a stasis helmet unless it's for a very particular build and it's the only spot I can give up? When now I can have power preservation, which, if you don't know, it increases the amount of orbs you drop. That's now going to be a bit more relevant going forward due to the orb changes that we've shown today. As well as having still 2 Ashes to Assets. And if it's an artifice, I now have a +3 stat bump to a stat of my choice at the end of that too. It would still be nice to know if that's actually going to cost mod points, or if they're doing it Aeon way and it's a 0 mod cost. That would be really handy to know, Bungie. But yeah, like the loadout system that's come out is going to be fantastic. I am interested to see how they are rebalancing all of the generation mods, because as an example at the moment, double bomber will give you 33% of your grenade back.
Mm.
I can now have 3 of them. By the current rules, that means I should get roughly about 50 if I triple stack it. So it won't be that. So we need to retest all of these mods to gain their values again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for Court. Court.
Well, here, in fairness to Court, he's no longer doing the spreadsheet. He's only doing infographics. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. So this feels like an entirely brand new aspect of the game. I'm going to have to relearn percentages and values of the mods I already use on a daily basis, because I can now make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. Having an extra 15, but let's be real, you have an exotic armor, 12 stat points if I have artifice armor across the board, it's going to be really nice. And also, this is technically a buff to exotics, because we've always been like, well, I need an extra slot in my exotic. Well, you now have it. You don't necessarily have to have a combat mod there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It can be whatever you like. I can have 3 Ashes Patterns, so I can have 3 impact inductions on my young Ankara spine now. That's great. So, yeah, this is an entirely brand new aspect of the game, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to getting literally arse deep in it.
It's so fucking exciting. Like,
Yes.
That's the part you giggle at.
Of course.
Yeah.
Literally, you posed a question earlier, Tilly, like, do I need to worry about builds at the moment? Truthful answer, no. Stop giving a shit at the moment.
How do we don't even know. We don't have enough information, I think.
No.
Yeah, if you have a build at the moment, that's fun. Stick to that.
Enjoy it.
fine,
I'm
yeah.
not going to waste all this time trying to come up with builds that are going to be irrelevant the day that the DLC hits. Like, it's just going to be, I'm going to
literally strip everything you've got, because like on that weekend, that day before the servers come down for 24 hours, strip everything, because
you heard it here. Bona wants you to strip.
Strip, guys.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm free.
Skeevies, everything. I want to see some cheeks flying.
I mean, what gamers wear pants anyway? We gotta strip, guys. Okay?
Why do you think I haven't stood up?
I have to wear pants because I have to chase a dog eventually.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck wearing pants.
I'm with Rev on it's not going to replace the in-game management stuff. Isn't going to replace dim or armor picker for me.
No.
But gosh, it's gonna be so.
If anything,
nice
it makes it more exciting. Yeah,
I think it's fun. It adds utility and it adds ease. It's a fun quality of life improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to talk about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just gonna be easier for people who are on console and don't have access to a PC like we do.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I don't even think about that. That's a good point.
Or do. I mean,
and it's like, so when I'm at work, don't tell my boss. Boss, if you're listening to this, don't.
I'm lying right now.
But when I'm at work, I look at my loadouts and stuff. I look at what I have. Like you could theoretically, and I'm not advising you to do this, but totally do this if you it's completely fine. Nobody's gonna fire. But you could make a loadout at the office and then come home and play it.
I do it on the couch. I tell my wife I'm doing work emails.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hero, if you're listening to this, he's also lying.
Don't.
I can't even have my phone on me at work anyway, so it doesn't matter for me. I professionally get paid to play with dirt, so
Yeah.
Yes.
I work at a library, so
yeah,
it's pretty easy to be like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing on this computer right now. Do you know? Do you know what I'm doing on this computer right now? I don't. You don't? I don't.
My ITs know what I'm doing on the computer, so yeah, no, I ain't getting away from anything.
I actually hit the point in this game where the builds I cycle through for different activities that I know I still help out with. I just go to orbit and just go to dim and just click loadout and come back in. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
I can't be asked to learn what armor pieces I've got. I've got too many.
Yeah. How many do you have, Rev? I think I counted. I've got like 250 because I just cleaned my vault.
Oh my god!
What, 250 builds or armor pieces?
250 armor pieces, which I thought was a lot. I need to go
Hold on.
delete some. Do you have
go
more
look at mine.
now?
Probably. I'm a hoarder. Ask Rev. Every single time he comes to look at my vault, he goes, "Why? Why do you have this?"
Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 figures, and you can save your guff for after. At the moment, my vault is 525. I've got no red borders inside there. So this is all stuff I use and/or are storing for Lightfall, of which my armor, 355 slots out of that 525. That's like most of my stuff is crafted now in terms of weapons, so like half the amount of weapons, and that's all random drops.
Yeah.
But all of the armor I don't have any duplicate exotics. It's majority legendary armor. Purely for the stats. Like this week it's Kydal, so I'm expecting it to go up to maybe 575. So yeah, help.
All right, can we take this moment to be thank you for giving us 100 more last season. However, we're gonna need more.
Yeah, probably.
It's especially with like this building.
I think we just. It's just the questions that I'm asking when I'm cleaning my vault are different now.
Yeah,
it's not. I can't keep one example of every single weapon that's come out in the entire game anymore. I have to go in there and be like, okay, so is this kinetic SMG better than the other kinetic SMG that I have already that I use?
Do I like the feel of it better?
If it's not, then I delete it. But I can't keep one of everything anymore. It's just not possible. Like I'm having to make choices, and I don't like it.
You're out here Marie Kondoing.
It doesn't spark joy deleting things.
Do you find yourself? Have you crafted do you have all your frames done and have every weapon crafted, and then have to get the weapon to level 17 and then get all the enhanced perks? Because that's what I have. So I've got all these weapons that I've gone and spent time with just in case it becomes good, and then I can go and change the rolls on it if I need to. But it's an actual trash weapon. I'm just like, okay, well, it's just taking up a spot there. I never use it. However, I put all this work into getting the frame, crafting it, leveling it, and then alloys are just so fucking hard to get.
I'm just thinking of my Palmyra that I crafted and I leveled, and then it was the best DPS in the game, and then they nerfed it, and now it's shit, but it's sitting in my vault still, and I can't let go. I'm just like, it's gonna literally sit there until I die. It is. I'm never deleting that.
I did more work with that than Not Forgotten.
Frick that. I'm like, no, whatever.
So I've now got all these. I wonder if I can continue the conversation, but I'm gonna have a look at how many crafted freaking weapons I've got.
So we saw the mods. And how they're changing in customization. We saw the loadout screen, how that's going. We are now seeing, we're also seeing the artifact armor changes, especially when it comes to the artifact no longer taking up mod slots, with all of those being passive. That's a huge change to the game.
Yeah.
For day one, I know I'm stacking bounties like a madman. But for day one, does it make it more important to stack bounties now, or does it make it less important to stack bounties now?
Stayed the same.
Stayed the same.
Because you can still unlock all 25 mods, but you're only allowed 12 active passes. Okay. So you can re-roll the artifact now as many times as you like. Thank God. But
for free.
Yeah, for free. So the fact that you can now do that, they want you to play about with everything. Chances are the first tier 5 perk that you will unlock from the seasonal artifact should still be around about 34, level 34. They haven't said they've made any changes to the XP requirements for this. It's still all 25, so what that be? It's 144 total to get everything unlocked still. But I've asked and pushed my team to go and do many bounties they're comfortable with. I'm in the Muppet that has done like the nitty gritty of doing all of the bounties that I need to do on all the classes. So I've got as many weeklies as I can have and filled it with a specific set of dailies. Haven't touched the playlist ones because you use them as you power level through. And according to Destiny recipes, as soon as I get my seasonal artifact, I can be level 21 in a blink of an eye. As a result of that. granted, if you just play like daily for like solid set of hours each day from level 0, you're gonna hit 40 by the day 1 raid anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm a muppet. So
the way Rev to look at it is to, the sooner you get to that level, even like if it's the sort of day 1, the more hands-on you get to be with those mods that come out and,
and that's why I'm pushing my
anything
team.
else. Exactly right. So you get your hands-on, you get to see it before other people do, you get to start sort of tinkering and then putting your stuff together, and you're more prepared. I think that's the bottom line. Like anyone can get their XP and their season pass and their artifact done over time, right? You're eventually going to get there. However, the point is to get there as quick as possible to figure it all out, right? That's
right.
That's the
I
bottom
gotta
line.
go. I mean, you're stressing me out. I gotta go, Bounty Pep. This has been fun.
I have a
Shit.
spreadsheet.
I gotta
Let me
go. I'm
send it
sorry.
to you.
Oh my god.
I have a spreadsheet.
I'm behind now. Let's go.
It's just
Exclamation LF prep and chat.
Yeah.
as much as I've done all of this prep, right, I have hated every goddamn second of it.
Yeah, bounties
bet.
aren't a fun part of the game. Yeah.
They serve a purpose,
Right.
but for the purpose I want to achieve, it's boring.
Yeah.
And
Watch him
it
just
shouldn't
wipe
be
them.
that. Please wipe them. I don't care.
I would love that. I would love that.
I
I
have
don't even care. I spent so much time on it. Whatever.
100 and hold up, math.
Do it next season, please, because I will actually fucking cry.
No,
I have 186 bounties across
Yeah.
all of my characters. Okay? Wipe them, please. I don't care.
Don't
Put
love it.
everybody on a level playing field. Please.
I understand why people do it. It's just not a fun part of prep.
Yeah.
I don't want to log in and do Ascendant challenges every week and be like, oh, I've got FOMO. I missed one of the Ascendant challenges. Now I'm gonna miss out on like 12,000 XP on my first day. Oh my god, blah.
Why do you sound like my inner thoughts?
Because I'm inside your head, Mona.
Conscience.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Please just remove leveling from the damn game.
Yeah.
Surely it's the last pack. Like, I know that's a big ask. I have no solution for it, but
Yeah.
that's a core function of this game I fucking hate. Because it's boring. It sucks the fun out of the game for me. And yeah, please. I love you, Bungie. I
Well,
just hate the bounty system.
Well, here's something that's not going to suck the fun out of the game for you. Match game is going away from in-game activities. It'll still be showing up in some special situations. I think they said like more so for like dungeons or special missions, like what Seraph.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like
Fine.
Seraph Shield
Nope.
is.
That match game is being removed for high difficulty activities. Period.
I think I'm looking at this article here. It's like you announced that the match game modifier is being removed from all high difficulty activities. What kind of activities will the modifier still be used on? And Green, who is I have to look this up. They spoke with a couple of game devs. One of them's Green. He's just gonna be called Green on this one.
Yeah, cool. Green.
He said it may show up on special activities in the future where we want to deliberately tweak the gameplay in an unexpected direction, but no specific plans to do so at this time.
So right now, it's gone.
It's
gone.
gone.
No!
It's gone the
Confidence
way that
time.
the darkness was gone from the game. It could still come back.
I don't want an IRL collapse, Dan. I want it
so
gone.
So it's like incurable herpes. We don't know. It might come
We
back.
don't like
No.
right now. It's cured. Right now, it seems fine, but
It is such a bad modifier. It's do stuff that you don't want to do.
On top of that, they said that there's going to be other ways to affect non-matching shield types. What does they say here? We're making a few tweaks to how you can do damage to different shield types. Base shield resistance to non-matching damage types across the entire game is being adjusted to 50%, similar to Gambit. So
yeah,
and then also the additional champion options. I mean, they all kind of ties in together because all of these things are when you're doing build crafting and loadout choices for high-end game content. Like all of these things are the engineering problem, right? It's a design within constraint. Either the constraints are the champions that are going to be in there, the shields that are going to be in there, and all of that impacts how you set up your character to go into that activity, right? So what they're doing is they're essentially loosening those strictures a little bit, and they're saying, hey, we're going to give you more options. We're not locking you into just like such a specific situation with your loadout that like, so I feel like it's opening up room for more fun. It's opening up room to make the activities not easier, but like reduce some painful moments. Like, you know, like we ran out of Arbalest ammo and Corrupted when we were running it the other night, and we're like, well, crap, like we don't have any anti-barrier option because the ammo economy is a situation, right? Like that, I still don't think they've come up with a great solution for the ammo economy in the game. So you're locked in your loadout. You can't change to your primary anti-barrier option. What do you do, right? Like, so this is great because it for moments like that, it's going to make the game more fun to play, I think, for locked loadout activities. So
I mean, I just had a funny interaction because thank you for reminding me about the about the synergies. Selling a champ, I can now stun a overload just by getting jolted for the sheer fun of it.
Oh yeah.
With spark of instinct, I just need to be red bar, take damage from the overload that's pushing me. I will stun him just by existing now.
yeah. You stun all of us just by existing, though, Rev.
All right, less of that now. It's not your first day stream yet, Tinder. You can say that for tomorrow. But yeah, like going off like the ability just to, if I have this wider range of keys now, which was the problem before, like you said, like oh, there's a barrier. Do we have Arbalest? No. Well, we're kind of fucked now, ain't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we do now?
Like,
yeah, we did a Corrupted, I think, together, Rev, where you were the last one alive and you didn't have Overload. This is a different season of Corrupted.
Yeah,
and there was an Overload champ. And so you were like, well, what do I do now? I don't have Overload.
Yeah,
can I push him off? So then Rev it's like this hilarious situation where Rev is trying to push the Overload champion off the freaking map.
I nearly got him!
He really it was
I nearly got the bastard.
But I mean that's the kind of situation that you're put in when you have these like really intense constraints. So yeah, that was hilarious, Rev. I remember that.
The player shouldn't.
I'm gonna push him off.
The player shouldn't have to think, yes, gravity, my fourth weapon.
Yes, that's the true champion.
My fourth weapon, my
gravity.
greatest enemy.
Like you shouldn't be put in that situation as like the average player, because not gonna lie, if I wasn't as confident as I am now, I would have gone just fuck it, go back to orbit. I can't do shit. Like,
I was impressed you even tried, but I mean, that's
oh yeah.
I think that situation is not unusual.
Yeah,
I think like the situation we're describing in high end game content is not unusual right now,
especially when you're like LFG, because now I'm playing with two other people who I've never played with. I have no synergy with. I don't know what weapon loadout they're bringing. So now,
right.
Oh well, I was the only person that brought Unstop. I guess we're screwed if I die.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Gives redundancies are good. Yeah.
Having the ability to have something in your back pocket at all times is
pocket
great
stun.
now. Like, I need to.
I mean, I think that. Yeah. No. It's like bunch. I think that Destiny players have always been resistive of the Bungie is my dad and my dad tells me how to play the game. Like, we kind of have always like been the rebellious teenagers against that. Like, no, it's my game. I want to play how I want to play. You can't tell me how to play, Dad. What are you talking about? So I think that this is, and Champions definitely fit in that mold of like, we're going to tell you how to play the game. You're going to have to play it this way because this is how it's built. You know, I personally don't mind that so much, but I think that this is a super positive change. I think it's going to be something the community is really going to embrace, and it's going to make the game more fun for people. So
it opens up
it's
that
all
puzzle. Good. It breaks that puzzle wide.
It really
open.
does. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say wide open. I think that there's still going to be, you're going to have to make choices, and I think that's okay. I think that you know, it makes you want to grind for particular things, so you can do particular things, and I think that. In a game where it's a looter shooter and you want loot, you want people to want specific things and to go for specific things. Because if you make it a free for all, then that desire to grind is completely gone, right? So I think it's a nice shift in the right direction.
Oh, I'm the most looking forward to is just becoming Radiant with 4 Horsemen just to pop a barrier for the sheer fun of it.
I can't wait to see your Twitter videos, Rev.
I just want to stun champs in the dumbest ways possible. For the 3 years they've been bullying us.
Yeah.
Fuck you, champs.
You're bullying them
So
back.
bored. I
Yeah.
am so
Yeah.
bored of your lock and key
Yeah.
bullshit.
Can I bring up something? The fact that we're
Sure.
getting like all these ways to deal with champs makes me feel like there's going to be more champs.
Yeah.
Bona, don't put that in the universe.
Oh, I think it's
a-
already
it's
Don't
been
there.
out
know
there.
either.
Well,
It's
it's
been out there for
already there.
weeks.
Well, he's not exactly wrong. To
I reckon we're going to have
Back in
fucking
your gen
armies
one,
of
Bona.
champs, man.
Oh God.
No.
We're going to have
Well-
armies of champs.
Armies.
At the
Oh,
moment-
man.
No.
At the moment, each race,
Champion horde mode.
Just a horde.
It's gonna be
Oh
blind
my
well, but all
god,
champions.
Gambit Horde!
Oh,
Gambit Horde!
No.
no. Dan, no.
Blockers are champs. It's fucking good.
No.
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 Yeah, the blockers are champs, and the
And
tormentors
No.
are the
Gambit
boss.
weapons.
It's just
No.
it's late for Bona.
No.
He's just he's
No. Don't you bring down my game mode any further than it already is. Alright? We don't need champs, we need light bearers. Because anybody can fight a light bearer.
I think Rev thinks no. Yes.
We d-
What gave you that impression, Tiddly?
but you can't stun a light bearer.
It's the subtlety.
Watch
the
me, it's
subtlety
called
of
death.
your,
I don't need to stun the light bearer. I need to crush his ghost beneath my boot.
What did
Grab
Reb
his
say to
ghost
me the
and
other
twist
day?
it.
Reb said to me the other day. he was
Twist
like,
its light.
Oh, what'd you say, Reb? You were like,
What? Sorry. What did I say?
I don't need a debuff when he's already dead.
Yeah. Because you were like, oh yeah, I'm upon a debuff. And I went, I don't need a debuff if he's already fucking dead, Bonner.
True.
Yeah. To wrap this section up, we also have like the armor charge mods and the elemental wells getting
Consolidating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
consolidating, getting tweaks.
Good.
All solid across the board there.
Mm-hmm.
Next up on the agenda, we have two more things on the agenda. I'm going to try to get us out of here before 2 hours hits. So
You knew who you invited.
I know. And
We did this
like, I
last
love
time
this.
too, actually.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I love this, but I know you guys are busy too. So thank you for your
I'm
time.
hungry.
Future Dan's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
hate the editing.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. I got this new thing called Recut. Oh, I'll tell you about it later.
Oh.
So, breezing through season 20 weapon tuning preview.
Damn, season 20.
What
Fuck.
what date was that?
That was on the 1st. We got that on February 1st. So just over a week ago.
Abilities.
G'day,
Weapon tuning
Gadarians.
preview.
Yeah.
G'day, Gadarians. They speak Bona.
Oh my God.
Who is Chris Proctor?
Who's Chris Proctor? I don't know. Some guy, but
If he's Aussie.
but we have when playing a reticle on console, your reticle is going to will turn red when it's over an enemy that's inside your weapon's effective range. Congratulations, console
I
players.
missed that.
They've also enabled this on PC. Linear fusion rifles
Nerf.
are getting a nerf.
Hi, good riddance.
They're not totally useless. That's what
No.
no.
Well,
Throw them in the trash.
that's how it always feels
You know-
with this, right? Like they nerf things. Everybody's like, oh, they're no good no more, and then they stop using them, and then they pick them back up, and then as we're going to find out with the heavy grenade launchers, anarchy still exists. It is still lurking in somebody's vault, mine, and it's still going to be like super good next season.
I love anarchy. Aren't we getting a whisper buff?
We've already had it.
Oh, shit, I'm so
I swear
behind.
to God, if you say
Yeah.
the 80 AE is a buff to Whisper, I'm going to have your beard. That's
No,
not the buff we want. We want the sniper buff.
yeah. Like,
I see you.
but like, there's so many other good power
Yeah.
weapons that we have, heavy weapons, I should say. And I find myself picking up my cataclysmic.
Yeah.
You know, every my LFRs and everything, and it's
Yeah.
just like, when am I gonna be able to use my two-tail fox again? Like,
I'm
god damn it,
bored.
let me
Next
unleash the
season.
I'm
foxes.
bored. Yeah,
That's
Next
kind of
season.
callous. That's kind of callous, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mhm. The two-tailed
Yes!
fox is getting both things to do with Solar 3.0 and Void
Mhm.
3.0. So it's going to be killer next season, and
motherfucking thing's
LFRs
gonna
are
bomb
being
me.
nerfed. They're bringing
Gonna keep
down.
that thing on me. Gonna keep that thing on me.
Yeah. We
Linears. Sorry, Dan. Go on.
no, go ahead.
Linears will still have their place in a PvE sandbox. The reason why is because they offer fantastic single target damage with a stupid amount of ammo to boot.
Right.
No,
And yeah, but I mean, but you're talking about like a damage, like where there's you have a lot of time to damage because there's a lot of ammo, and if you're like a stationary target, right?
Now look at you, War Priest.
If the crit is easy to hit,
Yeah.
yes, but now we also have another frame of LFR, which is there to fill the burst style. Because granted, we're good at single targets in short amounts of time as a single bolt, but the burst fire, the aggressive frame, is now the burst DPS option. So when you go point in case when you go to farm Kaido, you bring one of the two aggressive frames. You don't use a single bolt because they output way much more damage per bolt, per burst on a per burst basis than a single bolt one. So they also have their place. It's just they're just 15% less fun, in my opinion. That's it.
Yeah. No, but I think no, I get it, Rev. I like you see it as a finesse change. The community sees that as a nerf, and I'm not using it anymore. Which is really like how the community, and I know the Bungie's really careful with their phrasing about nerfing things because they don't want to make people mad. But they're like, "Oh, my toy! You changed my toy. I love my toy. Putting it away now."
That's how I felt about Whisper when they nerfed it.
Yep, it's like there might be utility, like Anarchy, right? Anarchy, God tier, used for everything. One day, next week, no one used it. Absolutely
for
not
like a year
used it at all.
For like a couple years.
Yeah, for sure, and that's good though. I think that this change is wonderful. I think anything that they do to I think nerfs are good because in a sense when you nerf something it's a relative buff to everything else that's not that. So that's great. So it means that the linear nerf means other damage things have a chance to shine. And I love that. I think that's great. So who's Wendy farming with me last week? We're gonna set some dates up. Let's go. All right.
Let's go.
Wendy.
I'm down. I'm in.
I'm literally going from like Tuesday night to Monday.
I'm literally only farming Wendy that week. But that's how fun is that? Like I said, it gives us something to go for, something to grind for, something to play for.
And knowing you and I, how many times our enhancement shards and ascendant shards are going to leave our freaking postmasters. We're going to need that. So
absolutely, restock time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What are some other buffs and perks from this article that you guys are looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Leviathan's Breath being absolute capital eater. They buffed it, but against chance by 30%. Not that it needed it, by the way, but I'll take it. And on perfect draw against volatile, absolutely fucking yes. Like, I think that's a fantastic change for it. Heavy GLs getting a 20% buff against bosses, 40% versus miners. Not really need a 40% against miners, like they already do add clear quite well. It's good. They clearly want all the heavy weapons to have if this is your problem, this is the heavy weapon for your solution.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Some you can have crossover, like the two LMGs with ammo replenishing perks, so Escapade and Commemoration, with firing line and target lock, as it were, for their damage perks. And you're allowed to have that slightly out of bounds stuff, but they've already said in the past that LMGs are not going to be the DPS meta that they once were, because that's not their role. And LMGs for ad clearing, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
In saying that, we need to keep an eye on Grand Overture. Grand Overture is going to break some shit.
So I would say exotics aren't included in that argument, because if that's the case, why Designs of Tomorrow is an ad clear rocket launcher when all the other rocket launchers are used for DPS.
Yep.
Okay. So exotics are, aside from that, because they offer a fun alternative on that weapons platform to go and do something out of bound that is restricted by your exotic slot.
Yep.
That's fine. In terms of legendaries, though, that's where the balance needs to be, and that's where the majority of these buffs are.
Yep.
That's why they say Parasite's not affected. Sleeper, and Queensbreaker aren't affected by the linear fusion changes.
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine. So Grand Overture getting a 50% buff, which once again didn't need it, but we'll take it.
It's disabled when it first came out, like for a raid, like.
Because there's an ammo glitch, but like you have full heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was disabled for Val. You weren't allowed to use it for
It was
Val.
Val, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting enough they didn't mention rockets because rockets are meant to be the best single target. I don't give a shit what part I hit you at sort of
Yeah.
weapon, and you're going to see Izanagi's burden return to form in terms of DPS matters because you can combo that in, and don't be surprised if you see people rocking double sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Because you fire your Izzy, you reload it, you swap to your rocket, you fire that, and then you swap to your energy sniper to buy the time to make sure that Izzy's reloaded, so you can instantly click it again and give it time for the rocket launcher to reload. So you're going to be seeing that a lot. Divinity will still have a place as well in all of this, because Divinity gives you the crit bubble the size of a small moon.
Yeah.
And that's its main benefit now. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I think the heavy weapon shakeup is good.
Yeah.
You're going to see rocket launches and GLs most of the time for DPS, and your LMG will be your ad clear.
We are also I don't even know why I skipped this, but we also had the trailer for the new exotic weapons that we'll be getting.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Like-
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like, all right, so to sort of bring Crismo into the fold, the man's so bloody excited about that heavy stasis glaive.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna put it up my hand up. I literally called that a month into Witch Queen. Like running around with glaives, I'm like, dude, we're gonna get a heavy stasis glaive at some point. It's gonna come. We're getting a heavy stasis. I've been saying it for a year. Everyone's like, shut up, Boner. I'm like, no, it's here. So that's my moment. I'll leave it there. It's in the past now.
Yeah.
But you constantly sit there and you're like, what else are they going to come up with? Like by now they've come up with everything, right? So I'm constantly surprised, like pleasantly surprised. Not like I don't think it's possible, but I'm just impressed at the design team and everything at Bungie, because they're constantly coming up with brand new things that slot in and are fun to use, or add into the game quite well. So we've got the smart pistol from Titanfall with the sidearm there, which tracks targets. We've got the LMG, which 4 slots, 16 slot, sets them up for volatile and does however much damage. And then you got the stasis glaive. So is there any others I'm missing, or is
no?
it those three?
Like other than the exotic armor that we saw, the thing that set me off on that was like when Rev mentioned that LMGs are for ad clear. It's like, oh yeah, like deterministic chaos is going to be.
I'm so excited about that.
Like, yeah, that's going to be
ad clear beast. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
So
I agree.
That go ahead.
I was going to say that particular LMG builds into the fact that sometimes LMGs can find it hard to bring down stuff at the same light level, or if you're under it. So having the ability to weaken the target on your fourth shot, and then on the 16th in the same belt you fire a volatile round, which makes everything pop. Good. That's good. That's not a DPS meta by any stretch of the imagination. No. That's there to help you bring down tougher targets than you normally would.
And in large groups of tougher targets, and which will then go back into your build, obviously. So setting things up that are volatile, that go back into your abilities, go back into your aspects, that will feed into your nearby allies, or whatever you've got going on. I gotta stop myself from just speaking nonsense. I'm starting to get excited again. I'm actually, I can feel it. I can feel it, but I'm getting excited. So Tiddly was like getting overwhelmed before when we were talking about the combos, but it's comboing everything together and everything going back into one another. So
it's the slot machine of ability.
Yeah.
With that particular LMG, I don't need Grafalcon for volatile in a hunter. I need to get that 16th shot to kill something to make it volatile. I now have a Void Breach due to Echo of Starvation. I now have Devour in one move, instead of which allows me to have rigs or Starry to scale, and so on and so forth. So, granted that that limits me in one area, but it expands on another. So having weapons more like deterministic chaos built into your subclass on a base level is what I'm actually enjoying to see come forward from the gear of Lightfall. And they've already said these aren't the only exotic gear that we are getting.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be good. There are more they haven't shown. Obviously, we don't even know what the raid one is. They never show anything of the raid this early. So yeah,
Could be
Yeah,
I'm
good.
excited for it all.
I think for me, I like exotics that are easy to use.
Yeah.
Like that are passively good, you know. And I think that those tend to be the more popular ones of the community as well. The
Definitely.
community, like, I mean, you can learn how to activate exotics and make them work. Like, and some that can be really fun. Like Lament is really fun.
Mhm.
You know, learning how to do the block and the noise it makes, and then you know, like that is fun. But like, it's to me as you know, it's just exhausting thinking about how many exotics there are and how much you have to play them to like learn how to activate whatever special thing that they do is, you know. So for me, I'm interested every day. I'm gonna probably pull out something that's like just easy to use. When I'm looking for perks on weapons, I'm looking at things that are going to activate that are going to either be passive and just exist and give me benefit, or things that mesh with my play style and how I play the game that are going to passively help me because I play that way. Like it's like I'm not interested in like playing the game differently every time I put on a different weapon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, and I get that there are people who like that, and you know, I like it sometimes, but sometimes I just want to like zone out and feel things. So.
Okay, Jesse, I'll make you a build. Don't you worry.
You know, don't worry. I am so excited to copy all your homework, Rev.
Same.
At least you front up about it. Copy my damn homework.
Oh no, don't worry. You and you know, world famous YouTuber Haterade. I'm gonna copy everyone's homework. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. The with all of those changes to weapons coming in that are making it to make things like that have incandescent on it or spark incendiary on exotics, we're looking at a fairly fun sandbox.
I think so. I think it's going to be a lot of really fun clear options.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things are going to go boom, and a lot of things are going to, like, you know, void booms and solar booms and tangle booms. It's going to be lots of booms.
And this is they mentioned in the article that they looked at this season as like the 1980s action film version of Destiny. So it's like it's Michael Bay all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Explosions all over the place.
Slow motion walking away from explosions. That's us.
That's going to be a
Japanese cyberpunk movie in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that for Destiny.
Am I gonna get a motorcycle?
You know what? Yes.
A motorcycle
you
Sparrow?
specifically, Mal, are getting a motorcycle.
Yes.
Yeah. It's from Akira. It's that one.
Do I get to do the Akira slide?
You do. You get to do the slide. Yep. You and only you.
Yes.
Finally, we have the economy bits. What's everybody think of buying all their stuff?
I'm fine with it because this is kind of like the end of FOMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was looking through the list of the stuff that was actually coming back by focusing especially for trials.
Mm-hmm.
Reed's Regret and Shoyora's Wrath.
Yeah.
Two of the most sought after guns in the game that were taken away are coming back by legacy focusing. Granted, you can't have the Adept, and that's fine. You had to be there for the Adept, but you could still gain these guns with now. If you miss out on an origin trait, you now have an origin trait with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you know that's only this season. Like the fact that they are still there means that they will cycle them out at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you now have the way of almost farming for these things, and your materials actually meaning something a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a great economy update.
especially with the hothead coming back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Via that, a lot of people, my friend Tib included, didn't get the hothead they wanted and missed out. So, if going forward it is the way forward with terms of DPS meta, you can now literally focus the DPS meta that you need. Again, you don't need to go for that that blowout. That's that stupid ass launcher that got added into PvP. You don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
If you're patient and you're happy waiting, just chill and wait for the hothead to come in for legacy focusing.
Yep.
Yeah, it reduces the like some of the brunt of RNG in the game, and gamers across the world are rejoicing about it. They're just they're grabbing their pulse rifles and waving them around right now. They're so excited. Look at this team. I think I'm gonna be that like Destiny fan and be like, but what about I really love legendary ornaments. Like I feel like they're so rare and like they're so cool because they're so rare. I mean, I guess I'm like, can I get some more? I want some more like legendary gun ornaments and legendary armor ornaments because those are sick. And I mean, maybe they are limited because Bungie wants them to feel special, and they do feel special. But I'm just like, there's so many of those that I don't have, and I have no way to get them.
Yeah.
So I have massive FOMO around legendary ornaments.
They could almost fund like an entire other.
I would spend so much money on them. Yes, I agree.
They could fund an entire other design team dedicated to doing that, just off of Eververse purchases.
I would. I mean, please just take my money. I want to give you this money.
That's what people want. People have been saying that for years, and they funded an entire the Outbreak mission off Whisper sales and all that. So you know, it's there, and it'd be cool. Like, because what have we got at the moment for legendary weapons? We've got ritual weapons and old pinnacle weapons that have the ornament. So you've still got the. I think you can put the Wendigo ornament on the new Wendigo grenade launcher, right?
Ooh, see, now I'm mad. I don't have it. I don't have it.
There you go. So, and there's no way to get it.
I can't get it either.
Yeah. So.
You have gambit weapons as well for weapon ornaments over some of the first to have it.
Yeah, exactly. And the reckoning weapons, the reckoning weapons were so boring. Yeah. But then you could put the reckoning taken blight ornament on it. It was so fucking cool. And there's like half of those that I'm missing, right? So fucking cool.
Come on, I've got FOMO still. This is nice. Give me more.
You just have to be there, Tiddly, so don't worry too much about it.
I almost wonder if this.
I was there and I didn't do it.
That face.
I almost wonder with them bringing all these weapons back in, with you being able to focus them, if that doesn't also say to them, hey, we can make new cosmetics for all these returning weapons. We can and really for all those craftable weapons for just start going hog wild with that end of it. I can see that.
Another thing is like more mementos. Like, give us mementos for I think give us a raid memento, right? Give us a raid memento. Give us
more nice looking ones because they're ugly.
Like, there was that shader that came, that electric blue black shader that came out like 3 weeks ago.
Thinking feeling.
Yeah, that's better than all the freaking
raid
mementos,
flawless shaders, mementos, everything.
All those combined, right? And give us more shaders like that. Give us more. You know, we're asking a lot. Gimme.
Yes, I know. We're being those guardians.
But like, again, you could fund an entire team off of sales. So
I mean, to be fair, the what's the mission I'm thinking of that had Dead Man's Tale?
How many ornaments does that have? Like 3.
It's got 18.
Well 18, but like you said, you could fund something. The mission for Dead Man's Tale was funded from the Eververse store. They can do it.
I mean, they've got Sony money now, though. Like, they're getting plenty funded.
But just, I want things. Damn it.
How dare you want things?
I missed out on that Titan chest piece from the PvP ornament. That shit looks so cool. I fucking want it.
Yeah, Starfire Protocol. They could fund an entire mission on Starfire Protocol ornaments, right?
How long has that been good since VOG came out, right?
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem is you want and like the whole being able to make any armor look any way you want is fantastic. Like that's great. Yeah. But that doesn't work for exotics because that's absolutely limited by the number of ornaments they put out. And so you still have the issue there that like you want something that works good, but you want to look good too, right?
Yeah,
Like, so you
yeah,
want
yeah.
both of them, and like you can't get that with all the exotics. It's
Exactly
so
right.
limited. So
There's one thing that I thought about ages ago, because you know how like armor sort of shades, right? And
Mhm.
it can be reverse shading to like other bits. It's just around the wrong way. A shader rotator where
Yes.
you went in and you literally it rotates 90 degrees. Each like you press something, you toggle it on, and when you're doing your transmog, it just rotates the shader and then puts the colors elsewhere on the armor piece or the weapon or whatever.
Yes.
They would have to
I'd-
redo how we did that.
I did a
Yeah.
video
Yeah.
back in the day
That
on
watermelon.
Twitter. That is Watermelon Exos, yes. Yeah, Watermelon. He put this out in like 2018 when we went to GCX, and I bought it there on the spot. But yeah, it's the Watermelon shader.
Yeah.
If you could just rotate it around and change the block
But
out. the
okay.
different shaders, that would be
Question:
great.
Aren't the different parts of the shader supposed to shade different types of things? Like
Yeah.
some of them are
Yes.
supposed to shade metallics, some of
Yes.
them are supposed to shade fabrics, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So
Right.
it would
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a game dev. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. But
Oh,
like,
it would.
I feel
it
like
would
that.
wreak havoc on the game.
I feel like it'd be really complicated.
Yeah.
Like we already have
some,
issues with
yeah.
I want some like hot pinks polka dot shaders still.
Yeah.
Like what? Like where did that go? That was so fun, and everyone was polka dot and pink for a minute, and then it was gone. And I was very sad about it. So
Fun
I want
Prismo.
I want some more crazy shaders like that aren't an accident, that are just like ridic. I want to look ridic. Like just please. Thank
Hell
you.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. I am sticking. Like, it has been a lot of fun talking to you guys. And
How dare.
Thank you all so much for your time. We are
There's
closing
still
in on the
so
2
much to
hours.
talk about.
there's
Yeah, there
still,
is.
Yeah.
I'm still
and,
scrolling.
Are we doing a part 2?
I mean,
No.
I can have you guys all back at another time. People like you, and I like you, and I would love to have you back.
You.
I
So-
like everyone here.
Yeah. Everybody here. We got good chemistry, all of us. Look at us right here.
So
Speak for
Tiddly, when am I moving in?
Oh, I mean,
I bring dog.
We got Waffens. Bring the dog.
Yep, I got doggo.
Yeah.
I got
He's
Rev.
napping.
You
You're
got Rev? Are we calling
What?
dibs? Are we making like
Yeah.
a streamer
What?
house? We
What?
tried to do.
Apparently.
We talked about that with the mod team, and we couldn't decide
Yeah.
where we wanted to live. So
Well, you
that's-
just get a
Don't
bus.
come to Ohio.
Just get a bus.
Don't come to Ohio.
Get a streamer bus.
a
and
streamer
then
bus.
streamer
Would it be
train.
mobile?
Just
You
get a
don't have to
streamer
live anywhere.
train.
Yeah, stream a space
true.
station. Fucking go big or go home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
Okay.
just like the helm. But
Yeah.
for
I mean,
streamers.
I'm pretty sure the IS has got room to spare. We could just go live up there.
Yeah.
So we
can
just
do that.
build the tower then. Easy.
Easy.
No problem.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Guys, let's just get our own planet, streamer planet. Come on.
Where you guys want to put it?
Ooh, thinking
Where you guys
small.
want to put the tower?
Tower.
I mean, I don't know if Bonus hasn't stood up yet, so we all know about that.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Anyways. Wow, where can people find you on the internet?
Quack.
Oh, what a segue.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch, Mal Nightingale, and the same for my socials is all Mal Nightingale across the board. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Hive, you know,
Yeah.
the places.
Hell yeah. Bana, what about you?
Yeah, all the same places, all of the socials, on Twitch, all throughout the day, during the week, and yeah.
Tiddly?
It's twitch.tv/Tiddly, Monday through Friday, 9:00 Central. And I am the Tiddly Winks on Twitter because there is somebody named Tiddly who is camping, who has never tweeted, and their only follower was Barack Obama. I'm not even kidding. And so I told my community
in
their
the
only follower
Barack
was
Obama.
Barack, verified Barack Obama. And
Yep.
so now it's Barack Obama and 10 of my stupid ass friends who thought
Yeah.
it was hilarious to follow them too.
I'm gonna make that
I-
11.
Make it 12.
Hi, that was
Make it
me.
12.
Yep. 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 I'm going. I'm going.
Further validating their
I hate you
argument.
all.
Rev, where can we find you on the internet?
Don't come looking for me.
Do it.
Please, no. I'm on Twitter. I'm just on Twitter. You'll find me hanging around someplace. These people are better than me. Go and harass them. Leave me alone.
You'll find him in all of our streams. Also,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
every single one of
frequently,
them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Grateful for you.
Yeah.
My name's Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTok at Danfinity, where the IRLs. You can also find me on Twitch 3 days a week, helping Guardians with in-game activities. If you'd like to support the show, please remember to rate and review on your podcast platform of choice. Anything you say helps us out in the algorithm. If you'd like to pitch $3 a month in to help keep the lights on, head on over to coffee.com/Danfinity. That is ko-fi.com/Danfinity. All the links are in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for 6 months of your time. And I hope you find what you're grinding for.